my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a brand new mega palette from ColourPop. This is the It's a Mood palette. This is dropping on the ColourPop site on Wednesday, September 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you check your time zones if you're not sure what time that is where you live. This palette will likely be priced at $34 US. That's what the other mega palettes are priced at. And this is the same shape and size, same number of pans as their other mega palettes. So Bare Necessities, Stone Cold Fox, You're Golden, and what's the other one? Oh, and It's All Good. This is the exact same size and shape as those, same layout. And those are all priced at $34. I think that these will be eligible for affiliate codes. So if you want to give it a shot, if you're going to order this when it launches, then you can use the code Amanda in all caps. That's my affiliate code. It'll save you 10%. Just so you know, I do earn a small commission. So if you're not comfortable with that, then no worries. But I do like to be very upfront about that, and I very much appreciate everybody who does use my code. That really does help to support the channel, so I really appreciate it. Now, let's talk about this palette. We're going to take a look at the outer box first. This is the cardboard carton that the palette comes in, and it looks exactly identical to the palette. Same texture, same color, shade names laid out in the back the same way. However, the outer carton does have the ingredients list. This ingredients list does have carmine in the may contain list. Just want to give you that information. If you are a vegan, you can kind of make your own call on that. If you are someone who is allergic to carmine, I just like to give you the information. It's on here, so I'm just going to tell you about it. You'll also notice that a few of the shades have this little asterisk on the back that says these are not intended for the eye area. 3 of these 4 shades are pressed glitters. The 4th shade with the eye safety warning is a really deep dark burgundy red, so that one is probably marked with that eye safety warning due to the pigments in there. I have a whole detailed explanation about why those pigment warnings exist and what I recommend that you do, which is patch testing them. So I'll link the video down below where I talk about all of that stuff. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it may be good to go and check that video out just for your information, especially if you're somebody that gets eye irritation from wearing certain eyeshadows a lot. This may be really helpful information for you. So that is my ColourPop wine collection video. I'll add the link in the description box and you can check out more info there. Now we're going to look at the palette itself. This is a heavy duty cardboard packaging, and it does have that same textural element that you saw on the outer box. Looks the same as the box, except the ingredients list isn't down here. So we have all the shade names printed on the back. This palette does have a magnetic closure, so it's not a locking clasp closure. It is magnetized lid. There is no mirror inside here. Then we have all 30 shades laid out. These are grouped in columns. So each column is a color theme, basically. So we have green, blue, purple, very warm orangey one. This is probably the most random of all the color groupings. Kind of has an overall pinky tone to it. And then we have some warm neutrals on the side here. All the shade names are printed inside next to the pans, and they do keep the little eye warning asterisks inside. I like when they do that. I think that just makes it easier for the customer to notice, so I do appreciate that they at least are upfront with their warnings. There's a whole wide range of finishes in here. We do have 1 matte with glitter, then we have the 3 pressed glitters, then there are 15 true mattes and 11 metallic shimmers. I swatched these in their color grouped columns. I do think this layout is really intentional, and so I swatched them that way, 2 groupings at a time. I will be doing both finger and brush swatches. The finger swatches are pictured on top, and then each corresponding brush swatch is directly below. All the swatches are done on the inside of my arm with no primer down first, no dampening the brush, just the shadows straight onto my skin. The only shades I'm not going to brush swatch are the pressed glitters. They just don't react well with the brush, and frankly, I just don't want to get glitter in my brush. As always, the swatches are done with my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean the brush off in between each shade using my Veramona color switch. That way there's no shadow transfer between swatches. Let's take a look at those swatches now. Performance-wise, for swatches and for use on the eye, I would say all of these first two more neutral rows are very on par with my other ColourPop palettes, very, very opaque and just easy to work with. And as we get into some of these more colorful shades, the purples, blues, and greens, you will see that they need a little bit more building up. That's not necessarily a huge problem for me personally because I do like to work more slowly with colors like this. If you're looking for super, super opaque colors, you may not love these, but this actually works a lot better for me since I personally prefer to build up my colorful looks. Now that you've seen the It's a Mood palette swatch, I do want to show you just one palette comparison. I have a feeling that this is what everybody's going to want to see it compared to. And you know, there are probably a lot of other great comparisons for those individual columns. But I think as far as an overall palette comparison, the So Jaded palette is really the way to go. And that is the way that I went. Let's go ahead and take a look at the It's a Mood palette compared to the So Jaded palette. Now, in my opinion, this is not a fact, this is no statement or inside information, it's just my opinion that the It's a Mood palette is their sort of replacement for So Jaded. Since So Jaded has been discontinued, their mega palettes were really lacking this more jewel-toned, colorful rainbow type of vibe. They have Fade into Hue, which is a lot brighter, whereas It's a Mood and So Jaded are just a little bit more muted and more jewel-toned. So it's my personal opinion that It's a Mood is really filling the hole that So Jaded left in their palette line when it was discontinued. Are they exact dupes? No, but I think these swatches support that they are pretty stinking similar. Now that you've seen the swatches and some comparisons with the So Jaded palette, I want to jump into a tutorial for the eye look that I'm wearing in today's video. And instead of voicing over what I'm doing, since I'm not doing anything too tricky, no groundbreaking technique happening here, I'm going to give you my opinions on this palette during the tutorial instead of doing a voiceover. I think that's a better use of everybody's time. That way you can see the palette in action. But I'm pretty sure you can figure out what I'm doing because I don't really do that many complicated looks, and you can hear what I think about this palette all at the same time. So let's take a look at that tutorial and hear my thoughts about this palette now. Overall, I really, really like this palette. I love the color story. I do think that they needed to fill that gap that So Jaded left behind when it was discontinued, and this very jewel-toned rainbow, more colorful but not neon, not in your face like Fade into Hue, is a great color scheme a lot of people are going to love and gravitate towards, especially for fall, but this is very year-round appropriate type of colors. I mean, frankly, you can wear whatever you want in whatever season you want, but I do think this is going to be an incredibly useful, colorful palette. I think it's going to be the type of colorful palette that even more neutral lovers will be drawn towards and will help them experiment with adding some color into their look, which I always love. The layout with these color grouped columns is going to make that particularly easy for anyone to use, even beginners, even more neutral eyeshadow lovers. This is a very intentional layout. It's very user-friendly, and it's also very pleasing to the eye, which maybe everybody doesn't care about, but I definitely enjoy that as well. Of course, I do wish that we didn't have pressed glitters in here. Personally, I'm just not a fan of pressed glitters. I don't recommend using them on the eye. I know some people love them, and I do wish they would just provide those separately. But at least it's only 3 shades. I do wish that they had just gone with regular metallics instead, but that's just one gal's opinion, I suppose. Overall, I love the colors that they chose, and I just think this is a really great palette, a great release. We needed something colorful from ColourPop, and This is just the thing a lot of folks have been looking for. So if you missed out on So Jaded, definitely go for this one. And if you've just been looking to add a little bit of color into your life for the first time or over and over again like me, I highly recommend this palette and I really, really enjoy it. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about the It's a Mood palette. Are you interested? Are you putting this one on your wish list? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! You're not sure what time... wow. How's it going? How am I doing? Okay. Great? Not great? We'll get there. It's fine. What am I even talking about? Is any of this making sense? Are you still with me? Okay. It's fine. It's fine. What happened? How did I make such a mess? Not me getting distracted by my phone. Huh? Never happened. Nailed it. I don't know. What was I gonna say there? No one knows. Man, this is kind of a fun look. It's different for me. I don't usually go very dark. I have been doing tons of color this year. It cracks me up when people say, oh, you don't usually... I have more colorful looks than not for the past probably 12 months. Definitely this year though. But I usually don't go this deep. A smoky teal and purple eye is not my go-to, but I actually really like it. I think it looks cute. Okay, that's it. Did I do it? Did I say everything? Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? Alright. Well, that's probably it. If not, then figure it out later. Thanks for watching. You're just cool. Thanks for hanging out here. I appreciate you, and I just love your little face. So, see you soon. Okay, bye.